Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in the meadow today. And when I say us, it's because I am surrounded by others. You just can't see them yet. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that weighs heavy on me, and I think it weighs heavy on a lot of you out there as well. Basically what I mean by weighs heavy is that feeling you get, the feeling of frustration, of not being able to exact change in this crazy world. And that's the weight of the world on our shoulders. As a mother and as a caretaker for many, many animals, and as a voice for many more who I've never met, the weight of the world is very heavy. It's true, we live in a time that is uncertain. There's a lot of questions out there, and we don't have the answers to them. And sometimes it seems like there's nothing that we can do, and sometimes it might feel like we just should throw up our hands because there's really no point. I wanted to share with you some of the things that I do when I'm feeling this way. And I wanted to also share with you something that did happen today and something that happens all the time. So as many of you may know, along with my husband, we run Happy Tales Farm Sanctuary, and this is a place that we opened up our barn doors to farmed animals in need. So far we have lots of different types of animals: pigs, potbelly pigs, farm pigs, sheep, goats, chickens, ducks, guinea fowl, turkeys, and we're always growing. And because people know that we're a sanctuary, they often will contact us when things they see maybe are not up to par. So perhaps they see some cruelty, or they hear of animals needing rescue. Perhaps they themselves cannot keep animals. And so as you can imagine, we're inundated with requests to take animals. And being just a small family, just a regular family who just loved all animals and so opened up our barn doors, we can't help them all. And this is why I speak out so much, to try to educate others, because I feel in animal rescue and sanctuary there's so much more that can be done besides just taking animals in. So today I received a message from someone who, their friend, having a very kind soul, started to rescue animals and take them in. But then there was a family change, there was a divorce, and now all those animals find themselves needing to be moved again. This happens a lot. It happens as well with many people that start sanctuaries or, really want to help. They take on more than they can and realize it's not all glitter and sunshine and rainbows, and then again those animals need to be placed. And then we get calls like one I received recently, and that is, let me give you some background. Basically, a neighbor has been watching how a family of regular people every spring for the last several years, they've taken in baby goats. And they took in those baby goats because they wanted playmates for their children. They thought it would be fun for their kids to play with the goats. But they don't have anywhere to put the goats in the winter. And so what happens to them? They get slaughtered. And this happens everywhere. Even when you go to places like goat yoga, often those animals are slaughtered at the end of the year. Perhaps you would be going to a petting zoo and people don't realize that it's expensive to keep animals over the winter, so those animals are slaughtered. How do we handle a situation like that when someone says, if these animals don't come to you, they will be killed? It's very difficult, and that weight, that burden of society, of wanting to help all of those animals, it weighs us down. And so how do we keep going? Well, what I do is I try to look at a more solutionary approach. I know that I can't save all of the animals out there that need to be saved, but my voice is loud. If you haven't noticed, I have a lot to say. And through many different mediums, I'm able to reach a lot of different people. So to me, opening up opening up those doors in people's minds, implanting those seeds of compassion, that in of itself is going to save animals I will never meet. So when I say a solutionary approach, what I want to do is I want to reach the children, because those children are the decision makers of tomorrow. Those children are at a very important stage in their life. So let's talk about the children where the goats come into their life and they're adorable and they're sweet. and those goats learn to love and trust the children. And then at the end of the season, they're thrown out like garbage because they're not valued. And that is teaching children that animals are disposable. And that type of thinking has got us nowhere good. But what if we can reach those children before that stuff happens? What if we can reach those children while they're still developing their thought process towards animals, and whether that be human or non-human animals, about those around them, about those that may not have what they have, whether that be a socio-economical issue within children in their classroom, or maybe it is animal related. What if we can teach them to hold on to that compassion and empathy that they are born with, that we as adults take away? And we take it away because the truth is sometimes too horrible. Eat your meat, but don't ask who it was. Don't ask where this came from. We all did it. Most of us were not born vegan, and most of us didn't raise our children vegan. The solutionary approach is something that I learned through the Institute of Humane Education, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant because it lifts that weight a little bit. It gives us a little bit of power. Instead of focusing on the problem all the time, instead of focusing on how horrible the lives of animals are, what can we do to change it? Our change makers are the children of today. They are going to be the change makers of tomorrow. It's our job as adults to educate ourselves, of course, but it's also our jobs to educate the children. Because without these amazing, beautiful minds that we have growing and flourishing around us, we're in big trouble. So we have a choice. Do we continue to go the way we've been going? Do we continue to raise children to close their eyes to the torture and abuse of some animals in the effort to continue to exploit animals, but then not allow children to know about the exploitation? Or do we be honest with them? And I don't mean sitting down with children and explaining to them the horrors of a factory farm. But maybe we can sit down and instead explain to them about the wonderful lives of the animals. What if we sit down and show them that these are wonderful mothers? They love their babies. And this is something I try so hard to do on our sanctuary page, and why I'm trying to outreach as much as possible, to reach as many people as possible, to spread this message of compassion. Because without a solutionary approach, we're just going to keep focusing on the problems, but we're never going to get to what is the solution. How are we going to stop it? So if I could get my hands on those little children, the little children who see the goats come in, and then when they're done with them, they're thrown out. If maybe, just maybe, I could get those children to question their parents and say, why would we be doing this to these goats? These goats have learned to trust us and to love us. And where did they come from in the first place? Why are they not with their mothers? If we can get children asking these questions, then I think the world is going to go another direction. And it's going to take time. And it's going to take people like you. It's going to take people like you who are watching this video. And it's going to take people like me. And it's going to take your neighbor and your teacher and your doctor. It's going to take all of us to come together and finally wake up this darn world. We need to shake the tree so that the fruit will come down, and that fruit will be available to everyone, human or non-human, because we share this planet together. There is only one. We all make an impact every day. We wake up in the morning, we open our eyes, we stretch, and then we go about our day. But what we need to do is to make sure that that impact is for the positive and not for the negative. Children are brilliant. They're strong and they're resilient. They are our future. Let's make that future bright. Thank you for joining me in the meadow today. I hope to speak to you again soon.